Namaskar. Today we'll study anthelmintic drugs. So these anthelmintic drugs act against the helminthes, and helminthes are worms, and these worms can live in the alimentary canal or outside the alimentary canal, and they based on their structure can be divided into flatworms or roundworms. Flatworms, also known as platyhelminthes, roundworms, also known as nemathelminthes or nematodes. These flatworms or platyhelminthes is of two types, cystodes and trematodes. So we can broadly classify the helminthes into three groups: cystodes or tapeworms, which live in the intestine; trematodes or flukes, which live in blood, intestine, lungs, liver, and gallbladder; and nematodes or the roundworms, which can live in intestine as well as tissues. So the tapeworms live in intestine, the flukes or trematodes live in blood as well as intestine, lungs, and hepatobiliary, liver, and gallbladder. The intestinal nematodes or roundworms are like hookworm, whipworm, threadworm, or pinworm, and they live in intestine. And tissue roundworms, example is your filarial worm, the guinea worm, and this filarial worm we have written here. Filaria worm or Wucheria bancrofti is an example of a tissue nematode. So the anthelmintic drugs we can classify based on the type of helminthes. So we can classify them as number one, drugs effective against tapeworm infection: praziquantel, niclosamide, benzimidazoles. Drugs effective against your flukes, all flukes, drugs effective against all types of flukes, praziquantel. Drugs effective against blood flukes, metryphonet, oxamniquine. Drugs effective against intestinal nematodes, benzimidazoles, pyrantel, levamisole, and piperazine. And drugs effective against your filaria, that is antifilarial drug, diethyl carbamazine citrate, and ivermectin. So in this way we can classify the anthelmintic drugs into these five types. So let us discuss the drugs one by one. The benzimidazoles inhibit the polymerization of beta tubulin 2 microtubules in case of in tapeworms and intestinal roundworms. And the peculiarity about all these microtubules is these microtubules help in glucose uptake in helminthes. So glucose uptake will lead to the metabolic pathways like conversion into glycogen and then storage in the form of glycogen, production of ATP. So benzimidazoles inhibits this polymerization of beta tubulin 2 microtubules, and hence benzimidazoles are the drugs which alter the metabolism, and they can be effective against intestinal roundworm infection, tapeworm infection, and the examples are albendazole, mebendazole, thiabendazole, triclabendazole. Then there are some drugs which act by paralyzing the parasite, because these worms or helminthes have a muscular body, and their movement is peristaltic movement, contraction and relaxation occurs, and if we can stop that, we can inhibit that contraction, and then we can paralyze the parasite, and we can remove the parasite by using a purgative after using the anthelmintic drug. So pyrantel causes your prolonged depolarization, and prolonged depolarization leads to spasm and paralysis. This action is similar to the skeletal muscle relaxant, your succinylcholine. So pyrantel acts as agonist on the nicotinic muscular receptor and produces prolonged depolarization, which causes spasm and paralysis. and this drug is effective against intestinal roundworm. Pyrantel in addition also inhibits acetylcholine esterase, thereby increasing the level of acetylcholine, which again can cause prolonged depolation by acting as agonist on nicotinic muscular receptor. Metrefonate, which is effective against the blood flux, also inhibits acetylcholine esterase, and the mechanism is same as that of pyrantel. So pyrantel, in addition to inhibiting acetylcholine esterase, also acts as agonist on the nicotinic muscular receptor, whereas metrefonate only inhibits the acetylcholine esterase. Another drug is your levamisole. Levamisole is also agonist, and it shows nicotine-like action, and it stimulates the ganglion of the worm and causes the tonic paralysis. And this action is similar to your nicotine, and levamisole is effective in intestinal roundworms, mainly your common roundworm like Ascaris lumbricoides and hookworm infections. Then other drugs paralyzing the parasite is praziquantel, and praziquantel, its mechanism is a little bit different. It increases the concentration of your calcium, and it acts on the voltage gated calcium channels present in your flukes or schistosoma different species like Schistosoma mansoni, and there will be increased calcium level which causes contraction of the musculature, and this action is rapid and prolonged, and this musculature contraction leads to paralysis and death of the worm. And this praziquantel is not only effective against all types of flukes, it is also effective against the tapeworm or cystoid infection. In addition to that, praziquantel also modifies the parasite so that it becomes susceptible to the host immune system, and there will be phagocytosis of the parasite. Another drug, piperazine, which also causes paralysis, it acts by another mechanism which is opening of the chloride channel. It's GABA-gated, your GABA-like action, your opening of the chloride channel, and causes hyperpolarization, which reduces the excitability and causes muscle relaxation, which leads to your flaccid paralysis. And in addition to that, piperazine also acts as an antagonist of nicotinic muscular receptor, and thereby it produces muscle relaxation, and it can be used in intestinal roundworms. Then some drugs which can kill the parasite. Niclosamide actually inhibits the oxidative phosphorylation. It inhibits the anaerobic phosphorylation of ADP to ATP in the mitochondria of the parasite, and irreversibly damage the scolex because it acts mainly on the proximal part of the parasite. So scolex, the head is damaged, and this scolex is separated from the intestinal wall, and the parasite gets expelled, and this is effective against tapeworm infection, and it can be used with praziquantel. Then oxamniquin, a tetrahydroquinoline derivative, and it is metabolized or esterified by the fluke to a reactive metabolite, and that reactive metabolite alkylates the DNA of the flukes, blood flukes rather, and in this way they kill the blood flukes, and they can be used against the blood flukes. Finally, we have the anti-filarial drugs, and filarial worm, they can cause their invasion in lymphatic system or subcutaneously, and if they affect the lymphatic organs, it leads to your elephantiasis, and worms like Wuchereria bancrofti, Brugia malai cause elephantiasis, and because the leg looks like the leg of elephants, and Loa causes your subcutaneous infection, and two drugs are there, ivermectin and diethyl carbamazine citrate. Ivermectin opens chloride channel, and this chloride channel in invertebrates is glutamate gated. So this ivermectin opens the chloride channel. This may be your glutamate gated chloride channel, or maybe through GABA receptor also, and causes hyperpolarization and leads to paralysis of the filarial worm. And it is mainly effective against the microfilary and not effective against the adult forms. So, and this ivermectin is not only effective against the filarial worm, it is also effective against other nematode infections also. Diethyl carbamazine citrate inhibits the arachidonic acid metabolism in the cell membrane and alters the surface membrane of the filarial worm, and this makes it susceptible to the host immune system, and there will be phagocytosis of the parasite, and the parasite is killed, and it kills both microfilariae and adult filariae, unlike your ivermectin, which only kills the microfilariae. So here both microfilariae or the larval form and the adult form, adult filarial worm is also killed, but the killing of microfilariae is rapid and killing of adult filarial worm is slow. And it is effective, it is used against filaria, and it can also be used against tropical eosinophilia, and this tropical eosinophilia mainly your pulmonary tropical eosinophilia, which is also caused by your Wuchereria bancrofti, in which the symptoms like coughing, asthmatic symptoms, and there will be enlarged spleen. So this tropical eosinophilia, against this also we can use DEC. And when the DEC kills the worms, filarial worms, those dying filarial worms induce the allergic reaction in the body, and to inhibit that we can use any antihistaminic H1 receptor blocker to counter that side effect of diethyl carbamazine citrate. So this is all about anthelimintic drugs. Thank you.